we asked in a community poll, should we buy the flour mill on Whiskey RP, even though we don't need flour to make whiskey? Over 1,000 of you voted. Over 690 of you said, buy it. It is so. So we're $288,000 into this investment. So let's take a look here today. All the different flour types we can make. We could make rice flour, we could make sorghum flour, wheat flour, oat flour, corn flour, and barley flour. And it looks like the cycles don't seem too bad. Let's go ahead and get this tipped in and production rolling on our wheat flour. So we'll activate that. And we have 50,000 liters in here. And we want to set that to storing. It's gonna be interesting to see if this does hurt us or help us. We're down to $700 or $657,000, but let's get rolling. It's November. We're gonna quickly get into the spring here. We do have the goats to take care of through the winter, and we should have a decent amount of milk to sell from them. We also have the straw to sell, and a good amount of money to still be made before year 3 ends. So let's go ahead and get rolling with this episode. You know, in reality, I don't think we're gonna make our money back from that. I think it was a poor decision, but we have 2,000 liters there, and it looks like we're getting close to another 1,000 here. We're at 641. Goats look pretty happy. They got enough food right now. Let's get the straw sold. It's gonna be a lot of trips. We got a lot of stacks of straw around here. Let's figure out where we're selling it today. And our familiar place, the Montana Hay Company. So we have this load, we have that other one back there by the shed, and then right up here by the field, we have about a little over 3 stacks. So should be some good money. Let's go find out. But that was $1,000 for one bale and 15,000 for that. All right, let's go get the rest of this. Is promising. Good amount of money coming in straw. While we're doing all this, I might as well get the mulching started on the fields. We can have Bobby take care of that while we're selling all of this straw. Try to get these 2 fields prepped for planting in the spring, because that's going to be key to getting to that $2 million. We definitely made this harder on ourselves. And make sure we have this all configured right, but yeah, we're good. We'll have Bobby just take care of that. We'll get back in the truck, pick up more straw, get the rest of it sold. And I definitely will be taking over that once we're done selling the straw. And the second load getting sold here should put us close to 700,000 again. We're getting there. We're getting back in the positive where we want to be, closer to $1 million. And we're here with the last bit of straw. We've done multiple trips, and the dollar amount, you know, balance is going up. Oh, we drove through too quick that time. Let's back it up, back it up, back it up. All right, so almost back to $750,000. Not quite enough to make that $1 million installment payment we're wanting to do, and it seems like that's their rules. They want $1 million or nothing. Weird. So that means we have to hold on to it and be tempted to spend it between now and when we get $1 million. So we'll see how much of the flour gets produced between now and the end of December and see if it's going to be worth selling or not. But let's go ahead and jump in the Fendt and finish that mulching. Quite the mulching session here. We've got it done. We're gonna have Bobby do the one behind us because this was a grind. Yeah, the field is a lot smaller, but I think a worker will be able to handle it a little bit better. We did find our worker in the goat pasture. I don't know how that happened. It's you know, on land that was not this field, so confusing. But first job done here in December. We're gonna go check on the production and see how well it's producing at this point, and hope that we have a decent amount of flour over there, because doing the math in my head, I think we made a mistake. I don't think we're gonna make our $288,000 back in probably a year. I think it's gonna be like 3 years, but we'll go over there. We'll see how quick it's producing things, and that'll help us out figuring out that, you know, if we made a mistake or not. Could always sell it, I guess. Okay, so this isn't bad to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 already. And we're heading over to Subway. Apparently they have high demand right now for flour to make the dough for their subs. So we're gonna go sell 8,000 units of flour over there and see, you know, for our first flour selling session here, how we're gonna feel about this investment. And that wasn't even a full day worth of production, and we got 8,000 flowers. So I think that's promising. But we'll keep selling it month to month until the prices start to drop. But right now they are above peak price in town. So let's go ahead and see what this first day worth of production is gonna bring in. $22,000, that's not a bad start. And we're just filled up some lime here. We're gonna try to get as much done as we can before spring, just to get a lot of the work out of the way, to make spring as painless as possible. I'm really hoping this doesn't burn through too much lime here, and that we don't have to buy more, since we just did this a couple months ago. Yeah, it's not using a lot, 1.75 tons per hectare right now, so hopefully we have enough in capacity here to get this field and the cornfield done. You can see Bobby's out there doing the mulching for us right now. Just staying focused, trying to get prepped for spring. All right, we are going to the cornfield now to get the lime spread, and I think it's fine, even though they haven't finished with the mulching. We did have to purchase 25,000 more liters. I went ahead and just did a full load here. It was about $5,600, so we got that taken care of. And while Bobby's finishing the mulching here, we'll get the lime put down, and we'll be that much closer to ready to plant. And we'll be that much closer to be prepped to start planting when spring hits. Liming session is all done here in December. Just waiting for Bobby to finish the mulching, and we'll move on to next year. Well, it is March, and we are heading into town with a little bit of goat's milk to get sold, as well as the fence. We need to get some maintenance on it desperately. The maintenance bar was down in the red almost. Probably the main thing I do want to maintain this year. We probably need to get somebody out to look at the harvester too, so we can get that in good condition when it comes time to harvest in the summer. But we're super close to being able to start planting some soybeans and corn again, to just kind of repeat the cycle from last year. But we're down to 10 months to go, and we need $1.25 million, just about 1.24 really, to pull this off. Starting to get a little nervous. About $27,000 in goat's milk, not bad. And let's find out what the damage is gonna be for maintaining this bad boy this time around. $27,000, ouch, was much needed. And the next thing we're selling here in March is 31,000 units of flour. Subway's still the top price, so we'll head on over there. Pretty nice payday right here. This is gonna help a ton. The confidence level, that is. All right, let's see. 79,000 there, plus 10,000 for an environmental score. We're up to 853. Looking good. Now, I am a big fan of crop rotation, but we know soybeans will work good here. So we're gonna put soybeans in the ground again in this field, and then we'll start rotating after that. We really gotta make sure we make enough money to get out of debt, and I wasn't confident to say that corn would produce as well as the soybeans did on this field. And we know what we could make from last year. So that's the thought process here, putting soybeans in the ground again. And we did, the mulching, which should help a little bit, as well as leasing this Kenzie that is a no-till planter here. So we didn't have to cultivate or plow, so that'll save us a little bit of money in diesel, as well as just time, and help the environmental score as well. Let's get the soybeans in the ground, and we'll put some fertilizer in here to plant corn in the other field momentarily. No fertilizer required on soybeans. This should be all set, besides taking care of weeds, which we will do momentarily. We'll get Bobby on that while we start planting the corn. Good day. Well, I changed my mind. We're gonna have Bobby take care of planting the corn. We're going to jump on the weeder here. And we're going to take care of the weeds ourselves. And then that means Bobby's not quick enough. We can get going on the weeds on the cornfield as well. But I have a feeling, I don't know, actually, we're going to try to race him here. See him out there getting started. We're going to try to get done with this bigger field before he gets done planting, even though his working width is way bigger than ours. We'll see how it goes. Nothing like a friendly competition. And away we go. Oh, he's definitely going to beat us. He's definitely going to beat us. He's moving good. That field is just so much smaller than this one that we have no shot. But let's keep trying. And trying to get a decent look at this. I really can't without going into the menu. Yeah, no shot. I think Bobby's going to win. I think Bobby's going to win. We're going to keep trying, though. We'll keep pushing. Who you guys rooting for? And a little update here. Waiting for them to come in within render. It looks like they are doing the last headland. So they're going to beat us. But we're going to keep plugging away. Maybe they'll get stuck on a fence or something. And they're done, and we're what, about halfway through? Yeah, it was never going to happen. We're going to shut the GoPro off for now, and I will see you in May. Well, it's a rainy day in May, and I've made a decision. We kind of regret my blinkers being on this long. Kind of regret buying the flour mill at this point because money's not looking great, and this initial investment here I don't think was wise. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sell all of the goats. And with all the goats sold, our money is up to $850,000. I did find someone in town who is willing to purchase the pen as well and relocate it. And we're gonna get $23,000 for that. So we do have some extra grass that we'll end up selling. Those clouds do not look like they should cause rain. And hail to be, for the most part. Wow. And why didn't our soybeans grow in May? Or our corn? And getting back to whiskey here is what the plan is going to be in a month's time. Let's go ahead and make sure this is set right. Swath mowing's what we want. There we go. We're going to cut this grass. We're going to figure out a way to pick it up and sell it. We'll probably lease the same forage wagon that we had a couple months ago. And then after that, we're going to put some barley in this field because we need to get back to practicing what we're going to, grow when we get to whiskey. And we're just hopefully about a year away from being able to afford the whiskey distillery and to be out of debt. So worst case, we'll have to sell a couple fields. I don't know. We need a lot of money still. Let's just stay focused. I think this is a good plan. And if it's not, I guess we just kind of, I don't know, guys. I'm second guessing everything at this point. We're still $1.2 million away from what we need here in about 7 months' time. Lots of fields to harvest, lots of money to be made. But I just feel like we really need to focus on what's going to make us money long term. And that's not goats. That's not flour. We're going to go through with the flour process here. But we need to get back to whiskey at some point. The reality is Wyatt and Ken kind of did win, and they forced my hand and made me make a bad decision by buying that land and the productions that I was eyeing in town. So we're gonna right this wrong. We're gonna get out of this debt. We're gonna do whatever it takes because I am not about to go bankrupt and lose this land here that we've established and the future home of my new long-term living situation, which we still need to get to. We got to build a property, but we've got ourselves so far in debt here that we can't do anything else, and we're going to lose all this land if we don't get that $2 million. So we got to do what we got to do, and getting back to the basics and focusing on what we're going to be doing long-term here is what we've got to do, and kind of thinking through some of the mistakes we've made, and if we wouldn't have taken out that loan, we could have just worked on the land we had until we had enough money to get the distillery going, and it would have been a lot less stressful. So we live and learn from our mistakes and just try not to repeat them too often. Seems like we've been repeating mistakes a lot lately, so we got to ignore Ken and Wyatt We haven't really ran into Wyatt. Honestly, I think he just bought that property just so I couldn't. I haven't seen anyone work any of those fields, which has been nice because I haven't had to deal with anyone from that family. And I'm just kind of wondering if Ken is gonna... It's been some years now. It's been 4 years since Ken's been put in prison. Good behavior. He could get out soon. Who knows? We just need to focus on us, though. And with this change, yeah, look at our corn and soybeans coming in. With this change, I think we are going to cut the other grass for one last time because we're going to buy that forage wagon. I think that would make sense for us long-term for picking up straw and corn stalks. And we're going to get a lot of use out of it this year, so it'll make sense to purchase it. So we'll cut this as well to kind of help fund it. Hopefully we have enough grass. I'm really hoping when we get done here, we break even at minimum. That's kind of my thought process is if we break even, if we're still at around $873,000 after we buy the forage wagon and sell all the grass, I think we're winning. Now, we would make a lot more money off of this if we turned it into hay or silage, but I just don't feel like leasing that equipment right now would be wise. So let's get the mower put away, and our new piece of equipment should be here momentarily. And away we go, picking up the grass. Now, it did cost us $70,000 to get this vehicle here, or this implement here, the forage wagon. So I don't think we're gonna make that much off the grass, but we got a little bit over here to our right that we could have cut as well. And the bales to sell today, so it's kind of a mess the way I cut this. So it's gonna take me a little bit to pick this up, but we'll get both fields picked up and then we will get barley put in the other field if time allows here in May. That's the plan. Well, 60% full off of this field. I am blown away. We're gonna go pick up the grass in the other field and we might have to sell it halfway through. Man, the soybeans are looking good. Got the wheat and barley looking good in the other fields. Things are coming together, I hope. And we are headed in with 260,000 liters of grass. You can see they got plenty to pick up still. So we'll go see what our first payday here is. Not gonna be a ton of money, but it'll help. All right, let's see how much this is gonna bring in here. Not too bad, $40,000 there, plus 5,000 for the environmental score bonus. We're gonna get close to that number we're talking about, but I don't think we'll quite get there. This is somewhat of an investment, but I think it was well worth it. And I think this will do it almost 50% full here, but it is what it is. We also have that grass, those bales to sell, so we might get to that 870 number. And unloading the grass here. Oh, I mean, yeah, that got us pretty close. We're at 866, so selling the grass bales that we do have over at the property should definitely get us where we need to be. And to keep in mind, this is ours. We don't have to spend any more money on leasing anything to pick up straw anymore. So I think it was smart. And if we're 70, I mean, we could sell equipment at the end if we need to, if we can't get to 2 million. I think we're gonna get there though. All right, we got the first bale sold there. And then these ones, they are going to be a little tricky as well, but there we go. Yeah, we did get about where we wanted to get. I think that'll work. Now it's time to get some more barley in the ground. And barley going in the ground, and I figured this should be enough fertilizer because of the state that it was in, already having a little bit of fertilizer in the ground from the grass. So we'll see if this is enough. If not, we'll get some more delivered. We're out of solid fertilizer. But this is gonna set us up pretty good for an extra harvest of barley when it comes time to get the harvest done. And a little bit of an expense here, but we need the solid fertilizer. We need to get it in the ground. And I think we'll be able to come pick that up here when we get done. This is the worst way to back up and get back onto that line. Oh my goodness, we lost it. We lost it. We were just about done with the headlands here. Here we go. This will finish the headlands, then we'll be doing the ups and downs and getting this barley all set. I think this is a wise move, guys. We were able to get the rest of the fertilizer here into the cedar, so we don't have to worry about getting it brought back home. And just one more pass to do here. And our late... Whoop, whoop, whoop. What happened there? I don't know. In our late decision here, in early, well, what is this? Still spring, technically, to get this last field planted, and we should be able to harvest it this year. And it should go towards the $2 million debt. We'll find out. Are we going to see whiskey this time around? Or are we going to go bankrupt first? We're going to push the limits, guys. We're pushing the limits. I was driving back and thinking, why not? Now, I know it would have been probably wise to do soybeans in these fields financially, but I want to get better at barley. That's what we're practicing here. We got to make a lot of good barley so we can make some amazing whiskey in a couple years. And I think there's just one little speck that we want to pick up here. Yeah, just right there. We'll just drop the cedar real quick and we're done. And that's a lot of fields to be harvested here in just a few months' time. And harvest season has arrived. We do have Follow Me going behind me to pick up the straw. And we also have a worker at the bins waiting for us. This is a moment of truth, and we're going to decide how much of this we want to send over to the flour mill versus how much we want to sell when we get done. We did run out of our wheat already at the flour mill, but I think it would be wise to make a little more cash off of the flour mill before we do eventually sell it. And maybe we will keep it long term, but I really want to focus on just whiskey and kind of hammer that home throughout the remainder of this episode. But this yield's going good. We're getting 96% so far, 12.7 tons per hectare. And filling up pretty nicely here. The yield chart is not changing. That means everything that we set forward to do this year was perfect. It was exactly what it was last time around, which should set us up really good to make the same amount of money, if not more, than we made last year. And should set us up for that $2 million. Let's get her done. They're gonna run into each other. All right, look at that. They yielded. I love it, but we're gonna have to hold off here. Hopefully we get far enough for them to get by. And it looks like we did. What a process. Multiple workers out here helping us to get this done in record time. Love this advanced automation we got going. Little follow me, little auto drive. Glorious. The process is working pretty good. We've got 27,000, almost 28,000 liters of barley already. Workers doing their job. Fields looking clean, except for a couple areas that I kind of messed up with my harvesting. I'm absolutely addicted to playing the game this way, guys. This is so much fun. Able to just focus on the harvest myself. I got my employees helping me out. It's the way to play, man, in my opinion. And finishing up the harvest here, it looks like we're gonna be at about, just over 60,000 liters of barley from this field, which seems beyond solid. And we're just gonna make a slight turn here. I'm gonna try to trick them to get back over here, but I do need to take over with, where are you going? Just pull forward. I do need to take over because there is some straw that was left on the ground that we're going to pick up, but we are going to take approximately 30,000 of this to the flour mill. That's all I feel comfortable putting in there between now and December. We're just a few months away and need a lot of money. And getting our first look at the wagon here with the straw, we're going to be close to 200,000 liters, which should bring in a nice payday. We'll find out what that is because straw prices don't fluctuate too much, so we can go ahead and feel comfortable selling it now. I will double check that before we head in, but that should do it there. So what I want to do now, I want to take both of these with me. So I'm going to set, yeah, we're going to drop off We're gonna do this. We're gonna follow from here. There we go, on the right vehicle there. We're gonna go straight to the flour mill and try to drop off just 30,000 liters. You know, we're gonna have, I think, 3 fields to harvest, maybe 4 in October. We got a little messed up. I was speeding up time with easy dev controls and it seemed to break the growth stage on one of the fields, so we had to start manually adjusting that. But I think I got it sorted out. I think next time around it'll be okay. So I think the the growth cycles were a little messed up on these fields, but all of them are gonna get harvested before December. We got our straw behind us. All right, this could be a little bit tricky here. We're gonna look at the number. We're gonna try to stop it. All right, make sure I remember how to stop. When it gets to about, we'll go a little bit more, right there. That's where I want it. Now let's go in the production. That might have been a little too much, but that's all right. We got 33,000. We did put a little bit more than we want, but let's activate barley. And let's figure out where we're going next. And just a peek at the product we have over here. So we do have those to sell later on, as well as the flour that's being produced now. All right, we're here to make a little bit of cash. And then we'll go sell all the straw and see how September treated us. Let's just pull forward here, sell the rest of this barley, and we are above 900,000. We have 1.1 million to go. All right, now if we pull forward to about right here, a little bit farther. A little bit farther, right there. Now we just cancel this worker. We can sell the straw right away. And that is helpful income right there. We are at another 30,000 in there. So we are at 943,000. Time to get home and figure out what's next. Which field we're harvesting next. And forgive the lighting here, but we've got a lot to get to in October. So we're gonna start with this barley harvest on the smaller fields. We're gonna get both of those done and then we're gonna jump straight to some soybeans. And I don't know what's going on with the canola. I don't know why it's not ready yet. It looks like it will be ready in November. But we got the corn to harvest as well. So we got a lot of money to be made in the next few months. And we're down to the last 3. We're at the last quarter. And we still need well over $1 million. The sun's still trying to rise here in October. We're having a good harvest here. 96% yield bonus, 12.5 tons per hectare here. A little bit more on this field to go, and then we'll head on over to the other, which was a grass field momentarily ago. Momentarily ago? What am I even talking about today? Words are hard, but things are going good. We're guys, I have no idea. When I first set up this $2 million in 2 years, the plan was if we don't make it, the series ends and we fail. We have ways around that. We have things that we can do to kind of help out the situation, but it's looking grim. I think the community poll might have hurt us. And again, there's ways around it, but staying true to my plans, we might go bankrupt. All right, this field is complete. We're gonna unload this and then we are going to head on over to the other field and get started with the harvest. I think I'm gonna run grain cart on that one and have work. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try it out with a worker and follow me and see if that even is possible. But we're beating sunrise still. 1 down. The big soybean field's the big concern. I believe corn could wait till next month if it needs to, but I have a feeling by the end of today, we're gonna have a good idea of if we're successful or not. Yeah, and thinking through it, I think what would be best is for me to do the headlands. So we'll work on the headlands here. We'll get that done. Well, then we'll get the grain cart over. And we'll do it like we used to do it, where I would run the grain cart while, you know, the big thing with Follow Me is the fact that they're not gonna just loop around. They're gonna do backing up. So I'll see how that works. Well, we'll see. You'll see what I mean. So 31,985 liters from this grass field that we were just gonna leave as grass. So that's a good extra income. We got the canola next to us to harvest. We still have the soybeans and the corn. I don't think it's gonna happen. Confidence, all-time low. All right, we weren't quite done with the headland when it filled up, but we got that going. And now we're gonna go ahead and finish the headland, and then we're gonna hand over to a worker and just kind of see what happens. Sun's starting to rise, starting to get some daylight here. Still a little nervous if we're gonna have enough time to do everything we need to do. And then it just got dark. Something wrong with the lighting on this map, and I think it's an older version I'm using. All right, we're having to set this back up, and I'm gonna catch them up because they ran into a tree and ruined their course. So we'll get this going, and we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in this plan actually working, and I think we're gonna actually fill up on straw on this field too. So we'll go ahead and get caught up, and once we're caught up, I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, that should be close enough to snag them. There we go. So the follow me is taken over. And we're gonna see what happens on this turnaround here, because that's the big question at hand. Oh, we gotta watch right now. Okay, so they're backing up into the field like that to get lined back up on their next pass, and they're gonna skip a row, it looks like. And let's see what follow me does, because that's the big question. So why are they going like this? You can't get unloaded that way, like this. So follow me worked fine. I guess we're gonna ruin a little bit of crops. We're gonna shut crop destruction off. All right, getting them unloaded here. But it seems like follow me figured it out just fine. So we'll see how it finishes this harvest. Now the setup seems to be working pretty good now that I'm gonna be able to just follow them and unload as they go. We're gonna pull over here and watch them turn around and watch what follow me does, but then we're gonna quickly start unloading the harvester. So he backs up enough, kind of almost gets in the way. Follow me creeps up a little bit there, then they start doing their back up and reverse thing. Back up and reverse, that's redundant. Back up and turn around. Which really seems to be key to follow me being able to handle this, is it's just kind of waiting to see where it's gonna go next. And it seems like follow me is intelligent enough to figure it out. Almost ran into the harvester. There they go. They were blocked, but now they're gonna loop around. Missed just a little bit of material, but I think it'll be fine. And we will start unloading on the go. Trying to figure out which one I like better out of the 3 jobs to make this the most efficient process possible. So in theory, we could be doing another job while we have all 3 on a worker here if we just set this one up to unload the combine, which would be pretty sweet once we get to a big enough setup and have multiple harvests going at a time. Gosh, I have ideas, not for this series, but for other ones. And the follower did stop because they got full. That's a good problem. What I am going to do, I think, yeah, they'll have enough capacity to finish. We're gonna go ahead and run in and sell this. We'll come back, finish picking it up, unload the harvester at that point. And we're gonna see what our extra fields did. They definitely brought in a good amount of money. Looking at the grain cart, I think we're gonna get close to $100,000 for the 2 fields, which is more than needed. And selling the straw. Is this gonna put us over $1 million? Not quite, but we're close. You know, I gotta be honest, I don't think this little bit's worth picking up and selling. So we're gonna just cruise on over here and get prepped to do the soybean harvest in a few. All right, get this turned on, get the pipe out, and we'll get the rest of the barley. And we're gonna go directly to sell it. This will definitely put us above $1 million. We need a lot of money from the soybean and corn. I don't see it, guys. I don't see all the money. We should have been well above, yeah. I don't think it's happening. All right, 84,000 liters of barley getting sold here. Let's see where we're at. All right, just under 1.1 million there. We made over 100,000 there. Whew. It's gonna be close. 900,000 to go. Where are we gonna find it? All right, we officially have the triple automation setup going. I'm not sure where the grain cart went off to, but it's getting set up in its location right now. And we are following along. This is follow me right now. So we tab over here. We have course play going for the harvester. And then, oh yeah, they had to take the long route to go get set up. So what's gonna be interesting here is I am going to step away for a little bit and come back and see how this is operating. So this is where this might not work. If the grain cart operator doesn't get out of our way, we're not gonna be able to continue forward. Now, if they're just gonna stay there, let's hop over and see what it says. It says waiting for call, so that appears to be the problem here. So I could hold up. We could see what happens. I think we're going to. We're going to see if the follower is going to stop following or the grain cart's going to move first. Magically, it seemed to work just fine. We're approaching our first load of the straw being full, so I am going to cancel the worker, cruise forward as close as I can, and then we're going to go sell it. We're going to see where the best place is, but this is a good opportunity to break away while they're unloading. Let's figure out where this is going to make some money. It looks like the farmer's market this time around. Let's go. And then when we get back, we can catch up and see how things are going. But we're already over about 80,000 liters of soybeans. So the yield is good. I think the mulching did help. Gave us a little bit of extra cash. Progressing quite lovely. A little more automation talk here. We could have, since we're using course play, could have saved that course and loaded it on the Fent here and started a little bit later. You know, let them get the headland done, get like 5 or 6 ups and downs done, and make sure they're running at a pace that they wouldn't catch up. And that's another option that we could do. And I feel like with that, you might be able to set it up somehow for it to go unload and come back to the course. That's something I don't know if you can do on auto drive with course play. I feel like it'd be pretty sweet if you could have a forage wagon like this going and unload it. You know, it just seems like it would be pretty awesome, but I don't know if you can. But there's the farmer's market. We'll go ahead and get this sold there. See how this is treating us today. This should be a pretty good payday. I think this will be around, gosh, my math's a little off, but this should be a good payday. Let's find out. I didn't want to say a ridiculous number that we're not going to get. This is a lot of straw, though. Oh, and it goes on the other side. Oh, maybe it doesn't. We didn't have the back selected. Here we go. Soybean straw getting sold at the farmer's market. This is a big portion of the money we're going to need to pay off this debt. Yeah, about 50,000 there, 49,500 plus 6,100 from the environmental score bonus. Excuse me, sir. Let's get back, pick up what we missed, and then get the course set back up to follow him. Yeah, the yield just seems outrageously good right now. They've been unloading a lot. So let's go ahead and get back into place here. We can lower and activate. And once we get caught up, we'll just have to hit right Control F to get set back up on follow me. And I think they're gonna fill up one more time before this harvest is over. So a good amount of money still to be made just off of soybean straw, not to mention the big payday that's coming from the soybeans. Yeah, I think at this point I am gonna take over the grain cart. It's just not efficient enough because it's not doing a great job at unloading on the go, which is something that I think I need to figure out how to fix. But yeah, we're gonna do the grain cart. We're gonna take this over, get this finished. Already at 100,000 here. Good amount of the field left. This could be a $500,000 harvest, which would be incredible. We're already above 300,000 at this point. And with the distance that we have set on the follow me, we're gonna just cruise next to this here. Once it's out of our way, we'll come on over, start unloading. Perfect. Well, I ended up taking over the combine. I find that to be more entertaining personally. But the follower did stop again, which is good news. We need to go back to the farmer's market after unloading here. And it's going to be funny because they're going to stop. And we're going to continue. And it's a setup it is. So if we call them again, they'll come and unload. They'll do a loop because they don't realize they could drive straight. But looking at this amount that we have in this grain cart next to us, we're going to make a lot of money off of soybeans. We're going to hit 140,000 liters with all that behind us to go. Lovely. Now, the fact that I went to driving, can I hand this back to a worker and let them continue on their way? Let's go ahead and get them lined up pretty good. We'll close the pipe. Don't need that out. And then if we come here, we're going to go ahead and just switch like so and see how they do. And they have started the harvest. So we're going to head to the farmer's market again with this. Get another, what was that, about 50? I already forgot, 50 some grand. And we should be about 800,000 away from our goal with the cornfield and the canola field left to harvest. And here we go, making some more cash. And we have crossed 1.2 million. 800,000 to go. Let's keep on plugging away, see if we can get there. What a day of harvesting, and we're gonna find out here pretty soon how close we're gonna be. November's still gonna be required to get there. We got 2 more fields that we get to harvest. But man, 160,000 plus liters of soybeans that we're about to go sell. This is gonna put us close. Plus the straw that's getting picked up behind us. Lights have turned on. It's been a full day of harvesting. We started before the sunrise and we're finishing after it sets, or as it sets. And it looks like our grand total is going to be $163,000. And it's time for a little caravan to make some money. Definitely made a full day of October. You can see that's where we're going with the soybeans. So we're going to go to the farmer's market first to drop off the soybean straw. And then we'll see how close we are with 2 months to go. And here we are with the last bit of soybean straw. Wasn't there 60% of this? Nice. So that's going to bring us up to $1.24 million. But this is the big payday. Let's head on back towards home and see how close we are to $2 million. And the big moment. Let's start getting this dumped. Pouring out the side. Watch that dollar amount skyrocket. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Oh, we're at 1.93. That was 600. That was almost a $700,000 harvest. Let's get home. Have a good night's sleep. We're gonna start with the canola harvest tomorrow because I want to buy the header. I want to be well above $2 million so we can pay off the debt, buy the corn header instead of leasing it. It's time we own that. And it looks to me, that was my bad, that we are well on our way to being out of debt, upgrading our equipment, and purchasing our whiskey distillery. I'll see you in November. Someone forgot to hit record. We are heading in to get some fuel. We've already started the sorghum harvest today. We're hoping that that's enough money to really push us well above $2 million. We got 62,000 to go right now. We'll see how good it does. We went around the headland a little bit more than once before we had to unload. It was pretty much the whole headland, to be honest. And so decent sized field. We'll get back over there so you can remember which field it is. But again, I'm hoping that this puts us well above the dollar amount that we need and we can purchase the corn header. And then we're going to make some decisions. Do we keep the corn? Because that's going to be a product we're going to use this time around for whiskey. It's going to be one of the products, most likely. Still haven't landed completely on what mod I'm using for that yet. I'm probably making my own. Now we need $63,000. And getting back to the harvest here, you can see where we're at, which field we're in here. It's field number 16. And you can see we're at 8.4 We're getting 8.4 tons per hectare right now. It is 120% yield bonus. Canola just doesn't yield as well as others when it comes to the volume that you're yielding, but it pays a little bit better than some other ones, so should be a pretty good payday still. We've filled up the combine one time so far and getting going on that second time right now. Not that big of a field after doing the soybeans, so we should have plenty of time to get this done, get the grain sold. We'll double check to make sure prices do fluctuate, or don't fluctuate, I should say. And then we'll know our dollar amount going into the corn harvest, because like I said, we might save some of the corn, we might sell it all. We're still kind of undecided on a few things right now. Question I've been asking myself a lot lately is, are we farther ahead after 2 years than we would have been if we didn't take out the loan? The closer we get to paying it off, and the further away we get from the stressful phase of not knowing if we're going to pay it off, I'm starting to feel like it wasn't a mistake. We know we can make around $1 million a year, if not 1.3 right now, a year. So with this loan gone, and making the right decisions next year, this place could look a lot different. And I'm hoping it does. And where is my grain cart operator going? I think he quit. That was painful. But as I was saying, these fields are huge. We're going to be able to focus on the right product in the fields and get a production that can scale with the output of the farm. And as we are able to produce more barley, we're going to want to burn through all the barley we make in 1 year on whiskey. We don't want to have product that lasts 15 months on the shelf, as is in grain. So once we produce and find out our cadence on how much barley we can go through in one production, we're going to have to turn that into 2, into 3, into 4. I want to make $100 million off of whiskey. Man, oh man, did I underestimate the size of this field. We are absolutely going to be able to pay off the debt after we sell this grain. One more field to go. It's almost noon. This took a little longer than I expected. We still got the straw and everything from the corn. We're going to have a good jump start on next year. So I have plans. This area is going to change instantly. But I do have the long-term vision in mind at this point. I'm actually really excited to get to it for you guys. I think it's going to be awesome. We did great this year. 58,000 liters of canola. Just dropping the header off here, but we are going to go in and see about the prices of canola next before we get to the final harvest of the year. And we've made it. What's the dollar amount going to be here for canola? 58.5 thousand liters. That was a weird way to say it. We're at $2,084,000. It's official. I'm going to get on the phone, give the bank a call, get the debt paid off, and then we got the corn harvest to take care of. Well, we are officially debt-free and the owners of a beautiful corn header. Next time around, we're going to get a whiskey distillery in the next year. We're going to start getting bigger. We're going to start making a ton of money, and we're not going to stop. So we have $100 million in the bank account. Thanks for hanging out on Whiskey RP through Season 2. This concludes Season 2. I will catch you in Season 3.